Hello and welcome to my third and final presentation. This time I'll be looking at Fmod, a commonly used sound effect generation program for games. An important thing to note is that Fmod is more designed for integrating sound effects and not really making them. In other words, if you have something like a vehicle, the sound the engine makes will be dependent on the player and how long they hold the gas key. You can't just have the sound switch when they let go, so you need to determine transitions and where to loop your effects. So those are really the situations Fmod is meant for. You can still use it to edit sound, however, so that's most of what I'm going to look at, and also how to import it into Unreal. So let's get cracking. We're going to need samples to work with. I recorded a few sounds already with stuff that was nearby. You can just drag and drop them into the assets folder. I recorded sounds of water in a water bottle, myself making a popping noise, and two knives roughly scraping together. So now we're going to need to create a new 3D event and title it. This is where we can edit our sounds together. And we'll just drag the water sound from our assets into the audio track. I'm only going to use the last attempt I recorded, so I need to right-click and select Split to cut it and then delete the rest. You can also take the end of the audio clip and shorten it from the editor for more accuracy. We'll then go back to the events, click off and then back on to reset the view quickly. You can also adjust the zoom with the bar near the bottom. Now we're going to cut up our clip a little bit more so we can overlap the two sounds. Drag one portion above the other in the same audio track. The clips will automatically generate a fade curve, which can be adjusted with the mouse. With the water sounds in the right place, we're going to add some effects. Click on a blank area in the audio track and at the bottom, right-click and select Flanger. This is going to give us a nice sort of sci-fi plasma feel when we increase the rate and mix enough. I feel like it's a little high, so next we're going to right-click on the same area again and add a pitch shifter. It automatically starts pretty low, so we need to adjust the pitch and find something that sounds good. The FFT or fast Fourier transform will also be lowered since we're only changing the pitch here. Now we're pretty much done with the water, so it's time to add another sound layer. We'll add the popping noise next. Right-click on the current audio track and select the Add New Audio Track option. Then drag the popping sound into the new layer. Cut out whichever recording you want to use. Now we need to add some effects to this one as well. Click on a blank space in the second audio track, right-click in the space below and go to Fmod Deprecated, selecting the low pass effect. This determines the cutoff for what level of frequency is audible in a sound, which you can hear by testing it. Next we'll add a chorus effect, which is essentially a sound duplication tool. Adjust the rate and depth to find an echo that works for you. And of course you can always go back and fiddle with effects already attached to a track and change the position of your audio clips. Lastly, we'll copy our popping noise, paste it, and then drag it above the original, adjusting the fade curves where needed. Alright, I like how it sounds right now, so we'll add one more audio track for our final knife sound. I'm just going to go right ahead and delete everything except for the second to last recording. We actually only need the very end of the scraping sound, and we can place it where we need to. This one's going to have another chorus effect with a high rate and depth. Then we'll add a 3 EQ, which basically does what the low pass did, but with low, medium, and high frequencies. We just want to get rid of the highest frequency here. The last effect we'll add is a delay, which will play our sound again and again at a determined rate while fading out. If you'd like, you can manually type in values when adjusting a knob. Now it's just a matter of moving things around and making final adjustments to get a clean sound. and I think it's good. You can't save these as WAV or MP3 files, so the last part is getting Fmod to work with Unreal. I just selected the basic first-person template for the sake of example, but any project works fine. And for the sake of time, I've already done all the steps, but I'll go through them. You're going to want to go to the Fmod download page and download the Unreal plugin. The version number you use should match the version of Unreal you're using, in my case 4.24. When it's downloaded, you need to unzip it. Inside, you'll copy the Fmod folder, which will have the contents you need. Find where your Unreal project files are located, typically within your Documents folder. And you'll need to make a new folder and title it Plugins. This is where you'll paste the Fmod Studio folder you copied already. After that, you'll need to close and restart Unreal. And once it's restarted, you can open the project settings and plugins pages. Make sure Fmod is enabled. And in project settings, click the Add button. You can then close both tabs. Now you'll need to go to your content bin and create a new folder titled Fmod in all caps. This is how Unreal will be able to locate Fmod events. Next, you'll go to the Help tab and at the very bottom select Validate Fmod. When it prompts you, just select Yes wherever it applies. You'll get an error, but just ignore it. You'll then want to go back to Fmod. Then create a new bank with whatever title you want. Right-click on your event and add it to that new bank. Then under File, select Save and then Build. Back in Unreal, a new Events folder should have been automatically created. You can double-click your event and test it in Unreal to make sure it plays. Once everything's in order, take forever to locate the player script. Find where the default gun sound is located. Then we'll drag our event into the blueprint editor. We can attach the nodes together and make sure to disable the default sound. Now simply compile and playtest the game. And there we have it. Basic sound effect creation and implementation into Unreal. That concludes this tutorial, and thank you for watching.